All right, welcome back for another deep dive. This time, looks like you've sent us quite a mystery.
Hmm, intriguing.
It all starts, like all good mysteries do,
Okay.
at an award ceremony.
Ooh,
The
fancy.
Sterling Literary Awards, held at, get this, the historic Blackwood Hotel.
Oh, wow, I know that place.
Chandeliers, champagne,
Sounds great.
all the big names in the industry.
Ah, so we're dealing with the literary elite then.
But amidst all that celebration, a murder takes center stage.
A murder. Oh, this is getting good.
Yeah, I mean, come on, you can't make this stuff up.
No, you really can't. The setting itself, the Blackwood Hotel, with all its history and grandeur,
Yeah.
it's like it becomes more than just a backdrop.
Right.
It represents a certain kind of literary legacy, a world of, tradition and influence.
Yeah.
And then to have that world suddenly disrupted by a brutal crime.
Oh, absolutely. And at the center of it all is our victim, Margot Hughes, a celebrated author.
Celebrated author, huh? So someone who is at the top of their game?
At the top of her game. She was about to accept the coveted Sterling Award, but before she can even finish her speech,
Oh, no.
she collapses, dead from poison.
Poison, classic. It's a classic locked room mystery trope, isn't it?
Totally.
We've got a finite number of suspects, all trapped within this, opulent, almost inescapable location.
Like a gilded cage.
Exactly. And of course, everyone has a secret and everyone has a motive, right?
Okay, so let's unpack this a bit. We've got a whole stack of articles and police reports,
Okay.
and it seems like the prime suspects include Emily Carter,
Emily Carter.
another author who was convinced that Margot had actually stolen her ideas.
Stolen her ideas for a bestseller, no less.
For a bestseller, yeah. Makes you wonder about, the psychology of a writer who feels plagiarized, right?
Absolutely. I mean, what does that kind of betrayal do to someone's creative spirit?
Totally.
The source material hints at, that intense pressure, that competition within the literary world.
Oh, yeah.
And for someone like Emily, who's dedicated her life to her craft, the idea of having her work stolen, devastating.
Devastating, I bet.
It would strike at the core of her identity as an artist.
It would. Then we have Daniel Rhodes.
Okay, Daniel Rhodes. And who is he in this twisted tale?
Well, he was Margot's publisher.
The publisher. Ah, so there's a financial link.
And apparently, his company was on the verge of bankruptcy.
Oh, so Margot was his lifeline.
Exactly. Talk about financial desperation as a motive.
Right. The articles paint a picture of Daniel as a man clinging to the edge of ruin.
I can see it.
Margot's success wasn't just about prestige for him.
Uh-huh.
It was about survival.
Makes you wonder how far someone would go.
Yeah, to save their livelihood, their reputation, their whole world.
Their whole world, absolutely. And we can't forget Lydia Brown,
Lydia Brown, I mean.
the, infamous critic.
Ah, the critic. Always a juicy role in these kinds of stories.
Totally.
Yeah.
She seemed to relish in tearing apart Margot's work and their public feud. It was no secret.
This speaks to the power dynamics at play, within the literary ecosystem.
Oh.
A scathing review can make or break a career.
It can.
And Lydia wielded that power, shall we say, with a certain ruthlessness.
I like that. A certain ruthlessness. I'm picturing her now.
Yes. And the question is, was her animosity purely professional?
Right.
Or did it run deeper? The source material does suggest a long history of personal animosity between them.
Ooh, personal animosity. And, reading through all these accounts,
Yeah.
it seems like everyone in Margot's orbit had some reason to resent her.
Or fear her.
Even fear her, yeah. There's also Vanessa, Margot's assistant,
Vanessa, the assistant. Okay.
who had been fired just days before the ceremony.
Oh, so very recent.
Very recent. Doesn't take a detective to imagine the potential for resentment there.
No, not at all. Betrayal and resentment can be potent motivators.
Absolutely, especially in a close working relationship like theirs.
Absolutely. And the police reports detail how Vanessa felt, deeply hurt and undervalued by Margot,
Yeah.
who had a reputation for being, demanding and dismissive.
Yeah, I can see how that can lead to some bad blood.
Oh, for sure.
And then there's James Walker.
James Walker. All right. Who's he in the mix?
He was a fellow finalist for the award,
A fellow finalist.
but also secretly involved with Margot.
Oh, a secret love affair. This is getting complicated.
Romantically involved, and according to the reports, they were planning to go public with their relationship after the ceremony.
Wow, it's like something out of a soap opera. So we've got a love triangle.
At least.
Or maybe even a love pentagon, given all the tangled relationships in this room.
Right.
The question is, was their affair a motive for murder?
Right.
Or was someone else threatened by their planned announcement?
Good point. And the source material suggests that James was married.
Oh, adding another layer of complexity to this already tangled web.
Oh, absolutely. So we've got a room full of suspects, each with their own secrets.
And reasons to want Margot gone.
Exactly. But here's where the case takes a turn.
Oh, a twist. I love a good twist.
It turns out Margot was working on a tell-all manuscript.
A tell-all. Oh, this changes everything.
It was meant to expose all sorts of shady dealings in the literary world.
Wow, so it's like she was writing her own murder mystery.
Except this one was real.
But if we connect this to the bigger picture, it suggests that the murder might be about more than just personal grudges.
Okay, I like where you're going with this.
This manuscript, if published, could have toppled careers,
Yeah.
ruined reputations, exposed, this whole dark underbelly of the industry.
Right, silencing Margot might have been about protecting something much larger.
Much larger than any individual.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The manuscript itself becomes a symbol, right?
Yes. The power of words to expose the truth and hold those in power accountable.
And to make things even more complicated.
Oh no, what now?
The manuscript vanished from Margot's bag shortly after her death.
A missing piece of evidence.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A missing piece of evidence that could hold the key to the whole case.
It's almost as if the story itself is trying to protect its secrets.
Right, and it gets worse.
It gets worse. How could it possibly get worse?
Lydia Brown, the critic. Remember her?
Oh yes, the one with the certain ruthlessness.
She's later found dead in her hotel room
Oh.
with a page from Margot's missing manuscript clutched in her hand.
So the stakes just went up exponentially.
Oh, they did?
This isn't just about silencing Margot anymore.
Right.
It's about eliminating anyone who might have knowledge of her manuscript's secrets.
The killer's sending a message.
Absolutely. They're sending a very clear message.
And it begs the question, who is desperate enough to silence not one but two people?
To keep these secrets buried.
Yeah. Was it someone Margot exposed in her manuscript? Someone who felt threatened by her expose?
It seems like the deeper we go,
The more intricate this web becomes.
this is going to be good.
It is.
It's like we're dealing with layers upon layers of deception here.
Yeah, it's getting hard to keep track of who's playing who.
Right. We've got this killer, and they're not messing around.
Oh, not at all.
I mean, they're willing to silence anyone who gets in their way.
It's cold-blooded.
It makes you wonder, are they trying to protect themselves?
Right.
Or are they covering for someone else, maybe even more powerful?
That's a good question. And, the source material suggests that Margot's manuscript,
Yeah.
it wasn't just about, exposing individual indiscretions.
Sure.
It was about revealing this whole system of corruption
Wow.
that benefited a select few at the expense of, a lot of people.
So if that's the case, the motive for these murders,
Yeah,
it goes beyond personal revenge.
it does, right.
It becomes about maintaining power and control.
Over an entire industry.
Exactly. And that's a fascinating point.
It is, isn't it?
If we think about the manuscript as a threat to a larger power structure,
Yeah.
then anyone who benefits from that structure
Yeah.
could be a suspect.
Right. It's not just about individuals with personal grudges anymore.
Exactly. We're looking at a whole network of complicity here.
So the investigation, it takes an unexpected turn.
Another twist. Do tell.
When Detective Price, she discovers this hidden passageway in the hotel library.
A hidden passageway? No way.
Yeah, like something out of, one of those old mystery movies.
I love it. Where does it lead?
Well, it leads to this secret room.
A secret room, of course. What's in the secret room?
Yes.
Okay, let me think. A secret room in a classic murder mystery.
Yeah,
Don't tell me, is it Margot's missing manuscript?
you got it.
It's like something out of a classic film noir.
It is,
A
right?
hidden room, a secret passage, and a piece of evidence that could unravel the entire case.
And as Detective Price, she pores over this manuscript.
Yeah.
She uncovers this shocking truth.
Oh, I bet. What is it?
It details this massive fraud scheme.
A fraud scheme? Oh, this is getting juicy.
It involves forged book contracts, stolen royalties,
Wow, they weren't messing around.
and one name keeps popping up.
Okay, who is it?
Richard Bell,
Richard Bell. Who's that?
the event organizer.
The event organizer. The quiet ones are always the most dangerous, aren't they?
Right. You'd never suspect him.
It's a classic case of someone operating under the radar,
Totally.
pulling strings from the shadows while maintaining this, facade of armlessness.
According to the source material, Richard had been cultivating this scheme for years,
Years. Wow.
carefully manipulating contracts, exploiting loopholes.
All to funnel money into his own accounts, I bet.
Exactly.
This raises an interesting question about ambition,
Oh, yeah.
What drives someone to achieve success through, deceit and manipulation?
It's a good question.
Is it greed, a thirst for power?
Maybe.
Or maybe some deep-seated insecurity
Yeah.
that fuels this need to control,
Yeah.
to dominate others.
So Detective Price confronts Richard.
Okay, and
To everyone's surprise, he confesses.
he confesses. Wow, just like that.
He admits to killing Margot to protect his secrets.
And the reputation of the literary world?
That he helped to shape, yeah. It's a
But-
confession, but
There's always a but, isn't there?
is it the whole story?
That's the question that lingers, isn't it?
It really does.
Is he truly acting alone?
Right.
Or is he taking the fall for someone even more powerful?
Maybe someone who was in on the scheme from the start.
Possibly someone who benefits from keeping Richard quiet.
And just when we think the case is solved,
There's another twist. You're kidding.
there's a final twist.
Okay, lay it on me.
As Richard's being led away in handcuffs,
Yeah.
Detective Price, she notices Vanessa,
Vanessa, the assistant.
Margot's former assistant, slipping out a side door.
Oh, this is suspicious.
So she follows her
MJ, what does she see?
and catches a glimpse of Vanessa holding an envelope.
An envelope. What's in the envelope? Let me guess.
Go for it.
Another page from the manuscript.
You got it. Vanessa gives this knowing smile
Oh, she knows something.
and says, "Some secrets are worth keeping."
Before disappearing into the night, of course.
Of course. It's like she's become the author of her own narrative now.
Oh, I like that.
One that's intertwined with all the lies and betrayals of the literary world.
It's a chilling image, and it leaves us with more questions than answers, doesn't it?
It does.
What does Vanessa know? What role did she play in all of this?
Right.
And what will she do with the secrets she now possesses? It seems like this story, it's far from over.
We've gone from this seemingly straightforward murder mystery.
To something much more complex.
We've got a confessed killer behind bars.
But there's this lingering feeling
Yeah, I know what you mean.
that justice hasn't truly been served.
The truth is still out there somewhere.
Hidden within the pages of that missing manuscript.
This case is anything but closed. So we've got Richard Bell, right, behind bars, confessed to the murders, seemingly to protect his scheme.
Seems straightforward enough,
But
but
then there's Vanessa, with that cryptic line about secrets and that missing page, just throws everything back up in the air.
exactly, the traditional whodunit kind of takes a back seat.
Because,
We're left with these bigger questions about Vanessa and her motives.
like, what is she going to do?
Is she going for revenge, protection, or maybe she wants to exploit these secrets she has?
The source material paints this picture of Vanessa as someone who is really devoted to Margot.
Even though Margot ultimately betrayed her.
It's like loyalty and betrayal and maybe even a desire for payback.
Very Shakespearean.
Totally.
Yeah.
And it reminds us that these characters, even those who seem minor,
They can have these really complex motives.
right? Vanessa may have been the assistant, but she knew Margot's secrets.
Her vulnerabilities, ambitions.
That kind of knowledge, that's powerful.
It can be a dangerous weapon for sure.
So thinking about Vanessa's possible motives,
Yeah.
maybe she's trying to finish what Margot started.
Expose the truth. Become an avenging angel.
Right. Or maybe she sees an opportunity.
The manuscript as a way to gain power or influence.
Become a manipulator herself.
Pulling strings from the shadows.
Or, here's a thought.
Okay, I'm listening.
What if she's trying to protect the literary world?
Interesting, even with all its flaws.
Right. Maybe she believes that exposing everything would just damage the industry beyond repair.
Do more harm than good.
So many possibilities.
Yeah.
And with Vanessa just vanishing like that,
We're left wondering.
will she use those secrets to bring down the powerful? Or just stay quiet?
And what about Margot's manuscript? Will it ever come out?
Or be buried forever, along with all the secrets it holds?
This case, it started with a murder, a locked room,
Yeah.
but it became so much more than that.
We went deep on human nature.
The allure of secrets.
The power of stories, for good or for bad.
What are your final thoughts?
I think for me, it's the power of secrets.
How they shaped everyone in this story.
They were willing to protect them, kill for them. It's like a reminder.
That everyone has something to hide.
And those hidden truths, sometimes they have devastating consequences.
You've hit on a crucial point, this case of the poison pen.
Yeah.
It's about human nature.
Our good and bad sides,
How easy it is to be tempted,
the lengths we go to keep up appearances.
even if it means sacrificing our morals.
Makes you wonder what secrets we all have.
What lines we've crossed, truths we've buried.
To protect ourselves or those we love.
Worth thinking about, for sure.
We may not all be caught up in murders and conspiracies.
But we all live in a world of hidden truths.
Unspoken agreements. And just like in this case,
Sometimes those secrets come out.
whether we want them to or not.
And the consequences. Unpredictable.
This deep dive, it's just a glimpse into the literary world.
All its hidden depths, scandals, and rivalries.
Who knows what else is out there waiting to be uncovered?
Maybe we all need to do a little investigating.
But, without the poison and secret passages.
Yes, please. Let's leave that to the professionals.
But we can all be a little more skeptical, a little more curious.
Appreciate the complexities of human nature.
Because as we've seen, even in the most civilized places, dark secrets can be hiding.
Just beneath the surface.
Thanks for joining us on this twisted journey into the literary world.
Until next time, stay curious.
Stay skeptical and keep those pages turning.
You never know what secrets you might find.
And that's a wrap.